Alright, so welcome back guys, and welcome to your first time here. I'm Vision Hero Boy Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm giving you guys my review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8, The Door. Now, if Fear the Walking Dead is something you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and hit that bell icon. You're not missing more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So we are finally back with new episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. This was going to be the mid-season premiere. Now this was originally supposed to be the mid-season finale. However, due to COVID and everything, they had to shut down production of the series halfway through filming episode 7. So they weren't able to finish this by the time they hit the mid-season finale in the fall. So we are back now. And I really did enjoy this episode. There's been a lot of conflict surrounding this episode, especially regarding one of the big moments of the episode. Again, if you haven't seen it, of course, don't watch, because I will be going into huge spoilers in the episode. But yeah, I really did enjoy this episode. Again, I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding this episode because some people like it, some people hate it. I'm in the middle. I like it, but there are definitely some flaws here within the episode that I don't like. But at the same time, I'm okay with the big reveal at the end. So again, if you haven't walked away, here's the big reveal. John dies at the end of this episode. Now, I understand why people were upset. I completely do. And I was sad too, because he was one of my favorite characters along with the most of the fan base. So him dying was definitely a big strike. But at the same time, I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was a very good episode. Even though it was sad to see John go, I feel like he did get a really good death episode. It was a really good and strong episode. It focused mainly on him, Morgan and Dakota. Really like that connection there. And we see that John has become this kind of a lost man. He's kind of hit his breaking point with Virginia. He kind of loses the will. And now, and to some point, I feel like this felt a tad bit off and rushed. Because we only got to see him in 2 previous episodes, in episodes 4 and I think it was 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 4 and 6. So I feel like his de-evolution felt a tad bit rushed, but at the same time it did make sense to an extent. So I can see what they're going for, and I'm okay with what they went for. I feel like if we didn't have these split episodes, it would have been better, but due to the fact that we had to have these split episodes, most likely due to COVID, I can kind of support it, but again, I just feel like it felt a bit rushed, and if we had spent a little bit more time with John, it could have been done better, but due to split episodes, we weren't able to get there. But again, I did like what they did there. And you got Morgan, who's with him, trying to convince him to come back with them back to Morgan's new place. And Morgan kind of sees that John is lost and is trying to help him, trying to convince him to go with him. And I really like this. It was a really great episode for John and Morgan, especially given the fact that John and Morgan have the closest bond together. So I really did like that, especially since they had the bond since episode 1 of season 4, so it made sense. So I really like the bond that they had there. I feel like it also had the tables turned on their relationship. When John first met Morgan, he helped Morgan come out of the light. Now Morgan's trying to help John. Unfortunately, he was unable to help him in time. So I feel like it has some nice parallels and some kind of like storytelling coming together, but in a different way. So again, I really did enjoy that. Garrett Dillahunt gave an incredible performance. Lenny James, of course, always delivered on a great performance. Zoe Coletti, I think that's how you pronounce her name, did a good performance for Dakota. So it was all great performances. And again, you got John, who's doesn't want to go with Morgan. He's trying to get back to his camp. He was wounded, and John decides to help him get back to his camp. But then he decides that he's going to go back to his cabin on his own. But you got throughout the episode Morgan trying to convince him to go with them. And again, like I said, John is just saying, no, I don't want to go. He just wants to be alone, and pretty much, like we saw in the beginning of the episode, he pretty much hit the point where he's willing to commit suicide. So again, really great stuff. And then you get some good action scenes in the middle of the episode where you have, Dakota trying to help Morgan and John fight off the walkers on the bridge. Really great stuff there. Again, I really like the action scenes there. All the great stunt work from Garrett Dillahunt or whatever. and some great walker kills there. And again, I also really enjoyed the bond that they built between John and Dakota, even though I'll get into that in a few minutes, even though wasn't a very long lasting. I feel like they did a good job there. We saw kind of hangover from episode 4, so it kind of stuck here. And again, even though it didn't last long, it was a good connection there, so I did really enjoy that. But then you got them clearing out the road so Morgan can get through, and at that point John decides he's gonna, split off from the other two and head back to his camp. They end up getting attacked, trying to put down some walkers, and amongst this aftermath, John notices that Dakota's yielding a knife that was used to kill Cameron back in episode 4. So it's revealed that Dakota is the one that killed Cameron, which is very interesting and very, I really like the reveal. It's kind of interesting to see that. And again, you see Dakota is, killing these people killed the man because he threatened to expose her to Virginia for sneaking out of the community. Now, I feel like this is tattly, I don't know. To some extent, I feel like this could have been better done. But at the same time, I feel like they needed this. But I feel like they could have brushed it off a little bit better for a reason for Dakota to kill him. I understand, but at the same time, I feel like they could have just been handled a bit better. Now, you got Dakota who ends up freaking out, thinking John's gonna kill her or stuff like that. And he tries to talk her out of it. Look, no, I'm not going to hurt you. He has finally decided at this point that he's going to go with Morgan. He realizes that he can help and is needed compared to walking away. However, he is unfortunately unable to do this as Dakota shoots him, and he ends up and then pushes him off the bridge. Now, this is again another shocking moment within this episode. I feel like a lot of people, especially myself, did not expect to see John die. If you watched my death prediction video, I actually said I gave him like a very slim chance of dying this season. Ironically, I got that 100% wrong. So yeah, then you got Morgan who shows up following that moment, and Morgan threatens to kill Dakota and nearly does. However, she reveals that she's the one who saved Morgan back at the end of season 5. Now, this is another interesting reveal because it brings into some questioning as to, okay, I understand what they're going for with Dakota. I get what they're going for with Dakota here. But physicality and management wise, it kind of is iffy in regarding to how she was able to get Morgan to where he was at the beginning of the episode of season 1. And just how his hideout, how she to get him up there. The mechanics of it is iffy and questionable. It does kind of put in some plot holes and stuff like that. To some extent, I'm willing to put it, say maybe she had some help in that area. But at the same time, I'm kind of doubtful. I'm kind of taking off points here. So I do got to take off points just because of the physicality there. It just doesn't totally make a whole lot of sense. And you got Morgan who doesn't believe that she saved him. Then she reveals the note that she left to him. And again, it pretty much confirms at that point that she is the one who saved Morgan's life. Now, Morgan does spare her life and decides to take her, bring her along. Now, this is an area where I'm kind of interested to see where they take this. On one area, I'm curious to see what happens if they let her live. Now, on one hand, I feel like they could do something very interesting with Dakota and Charlie, since they're both responsible for killing important characters, big characters from the group, a lot of people cared about within the group. So I feel like they could do something there between her and Charlie. However, on the other hand, I feel like given the fact that Charlie killed a big character, fan favorite, she's a kid, she killed this fan favorite character, and they let her live. Now you got Dakota, who killed another fan favorite, she's a kid as well. I just feel like it gets too repetitive at this point. I feel like Dakota has to die. Now, I'm not saying that she has to die in terms of, are people killing her? Would that be preferable? But even if it's the next antagonistic group or something, or in a war or battle or something, I do feel like Dakota shouldn't survive. I feel like she should somehow die for this. I don't know how, I don't know. But I just feel like she has to die. It just feels too repetitive. And I just don't think she should make it much longer on the season. I love the actress. I think she does a great job. And I'd love to see what else they could do with the character. Still, like I said, they could always use her as a bargaining chip with Virginia, like Morgan wants to do. And I could easily see them using her somewhere there. But again, I just feel like there's just something about this that she needs to die. There's just no coming back from that. You already did it with Charlie, redeeming her. And I just feel like with Dakota, you can't do it again. And plus, unlike Charlie, I just don't really see much of a redeeming factor with Dakota. So I do believe that she needs to die for killing John. But it's revealed that John didn't die from the original shot, and he is still alive. He has grabbed onto like this board or something and is paddling himself to safety. You got Morgan, who radios June, warning that John is coming up to his cabin. And you got June, who arrives with Virginia and a group of rangers at John's cabin, because that's where Morgan originally had said that he's going to meet with her. That kind of pushed John over the edge earlier in the episode, who kind of felt betrayed by Morgan. So I really liked how they pulled that full circle back around here, where you got John, who washes up on the beach of his cabin, and you got June, who runs out to find him, but unfortunately he's already turned and she can't save him, whereas compared in season 4, where June washed up on the beach of his cabin, he was able to save her. So I really like the parallels there. You got this sad story coming to an end with both Morgan and John and June. Very sad endings, but at the same time paralleling each other's introductions with the character. So again, I really do enjoy that. And you got June, who is forced to put him down. So again, really like that. Again, I did enjoy this episode. I know there are a lot of people who did not like this episode and were kind of angry about this episode, definitely given the death of John. I can definitely see why people did not like this episode. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I did also enjoy that they gave some more context to John's backstory with him and his dad, stuff like that. They brought it back around to the video store that he went to with June in season 4. You had a lot of great stuff with him fixing up the car with Morgan. A lot of really good stuff connecting to his backstory and just coming full circle. Really did enjoy this episode. Again, I know it's a controversial episode. One thing I do say, and this is one thing, another big issue I have, is the fact that this was originally supposed to be the mid-season finale. Like I said, due to COVID, it was made into the mid-season premiere. And this episode felt really slow. For an episode that's supposed to be a finale, now a premiere, it just felt like it was very slow moving, slow paced. And I just feel like it should have been moved up a little bit faster. I don't really know how they could have done that, but I just feel like they needed to pick it up a little bit more. It felt a little bit slow-paced for a premiere/finale. And again, I understand what they're going for with the episode, and I know that they probably couldn't have, made it fast-paced. However, I do got to take off points there, because I just feel like for a premiere/finale, it just felt very slow-paced, where they supposed to, at least most of the time, supposed to feel very fast-paced, very much moving and going. So I do take off points there, but I'm not taking off a ton of points, just due to the fact that like the storytelling can't provide for fast pacing within the episode that they want to tell. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. You got the end of the episode pretty much wrapping off, like I said, with John killing June killing John, Morgan bringing Dakota back to their camp, and Morgan radioing the camp telling them that to get ready for a fight because Virginia's most likely coming for him. So again, really enjoyed this episode. Even though there's a lot of controversy, I really did enjoy it. I said that probably numerous times now. And I'm excited to see where they go here. John was the heart of the group, so I'm very curious to see what that happens, removing the heart from the group, see what kind of path it takes the group down now. So it's a very interesting dynamic here, because he was the last screaming hope. Like Morgan mentioned, he was his best friend, minus Rick. So I really liked it. I'm very curious to see where the story goes with the death of John. Again, it's going to affect both Morgan, June, and probably Dakota if she survives. Again, I kind of hope she doesn't. But again, he was the heart of the group, so he's probably going to also have a larger lasting effect on other characters, even though we haven't seen him interact with a whole bunch of them. So I am very excited and curious to see what goes on here with the story regarding the following John's death. But again, very interested to see where it takes them, and very excited to see what happens in the second half of the season. And if I had to give this episode a rating overall, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I know that's probably being generous compared to other people. I know, like I said multiple times now, it's a very controversial episode. A lot of people hate it. A few people like it. I did enjoy it. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Again, I understand people's frustration and anger towards this episode, but for me, I liked it. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about the episode in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8, The Door. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon. There to be some more Fear the Walking Dead content from me moving forward. And go for me on Instagram and Twitter, which is linked in the section of my YouTube channel. As always, been Vision Hero by Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.